If you're about to go to work and you're not happy about it, well, you're definitely not alone. A recent survey confirms what a lot of us have experienced firsthand, and that is rudeness in the workplace is up and morale is way down.
Lady, you're gonna hate it here.
For generations of Americans, the 9-to-5 workday was a staple of corporate culture.
I feel like I was just here a minute ago.
But since 2007, our economy has lost nearly 9 million jobs, with remaining employees working longer and harder than ever, and many aren't happy about it.
I'm also going to need you to go ahead and come in on Sunday, too, okay?
According to a recent study, the workplace is becoming increasingly hostile. 86% of workers experience rude behavior this year, while 90% admitted to instigating it.
It's not surprising that incivility is on the rise, because when people are stressed and they're in triage mode all the time, the first thing that goes to the wayside are people saying thank you and please.
They're really not paying attention to their interpersonal skills. They're really just focusing on how to get the job done, and it doesn't really matter who they steamroll in the process.
You know, people have families to feed and mortgages to pay, so they're not really going out of their way to do something good for somebody else.
People tend to become frustrated and, you know, attack more of their colleagues rather than go up to upper level management since they're afraid of their jobs.
Those fears were recently brought to life in the box office hit Horrible Bosses.
My grandmother, I told you that I needed to see her because she was very, very sick. You said if I left early, I'd get fired. And she died before I made it to the hospital.
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
I really am.
In many offices, it seems that life is imitating art, with an overwhelming 65% blaming leadership for workplace incivility, while 59% say it's the employees and 46% point to the economy.
People who have their jobs think they have to work super hard just to hang on to them, and at the same time you're looking around and maybe your coworker isn't working as hard as you are. That makes you annoyed, you feel resentful. It's a bad scene.
And joining us now is generational workplace expert Jason Dorsey, author of Why Size Your Business. Jason, not good to see you, and you look terrible. How's that for hostile?
Thanks. I want to get promoted.
There you go. So we'd start things off on a tough note. Why do you think workplace incivility, though, on a serious note, is so prevalent now?
One of the things we've discovered through our consulting is that there's just so much stress, and it's not overt necessarily from the manager or from the executives. There's a feeling that if I don't cut it, if I don't get out there and push everybody else out of my way, I'm not going to get to keep my job. And this is not just from new employees who are worried about the last hired, first fired. These are from very experienced employees who are telling us they've never felt this feeling of pressure before, and they look at their friends who have lost their jobs, they see how long they've been unemployed, and they want to do everything possible to keep the job they have. And when you're in survival mode, you're not worried about manners at all.
And there's a lot of jealousy, there's a lot of resentment in the workplace as well. I want to talk to you about one of the statistics and one of the percentages that we showed there. The study said the largest number of people surveyed, 65%, blamed leadership for workplace incivility. Yeah. How crucial, A, is good leadership in a company, and why are so many managers bad leaders?
Yeah. So the first point is a company's culture is a direct reflection of their leadership. If leadership is not doing their job, you're going to see that in the culture. So whatever's happening in a company at the end of the day is on the shoulder of the leaders, period. And anybody who says anything different just doesn't get it. And the second part is, what can leaders do? I mean, from my viewpoint, the leaders have to step up and model the behavior. One of my favorite stories of recent is when I was at a company and I was kind of doing a little bit of a secret shopper, hanging out, checking out things like I do a lot. And there was a manager absolutely chewing out this young employee below the sign that said, our company mission is to value our employees. You know, yeah. You're going, that's the message you're living.
Yeah, they all say that. 34% of people blamed young people for incivility. I know it's difficult here where I work. You know, Rebecca Jarvis here, we don't talk until we're actually here on the set. Very uncivilized. But is it, I mean, I'm kidding, of course, but does it come down to manners? Is that why young people are blamed a lot? They just don't know better?
It comes down to differences in manners. Let me give you an example. I was with a lot of engineers yesterday. For them, it was very important to be kind of buttoned up and suited, and they had their ties and very formal. And yet we had some younger engineers show up, and they were in jeans and kind of short-sleeve shirts, and yet the dress code was business casual. And so I asked one of the young engineers, I said, why don't you dress business casual? And he goes, well, I only have holes in the front of my jeans.
Yeah, well, nice. Final question for you here. Besides placing that placard above employees saying that we're going to value and respect our employees, what can companies do to create a more healthy work environment?
Yeah, I think there's 3 quick steps they can take. They don't happen fast, but the 3 steps are easy to understand. The first is to have a conversation, really look at what does professionalism and respect look like in our work environment. What I mean by that is, one company where I was consulting, it was absolutely safe to be texting while you're talking to your boss and running around blue hair and all that. That was totally fine. Where at other companies, the financial services, being conservative and more formal and proper is expected. So get clear on what is the culture of your company that you want. The second piece, and this is what's often overlooked, and you kind of alluded to it with the age differences, is you've got to bring diversity to the table. And what that means is not diversity in the common sense that people think of, but different ages, different titles, different places within the company, and let them share what professionalism and respect looks like to them and get them to buy in.
And what's the third one?
And the third one is to get leaders to actually model the behavior. Running around telling people, be professional, be respectful, and then shooting off emails that are rude and insulting, you know what people notice and what they follow.
All right, Jason, good to talk with you.
Thanks for having me.
All right, bud. Talk to you soon.